Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today I'm answering a Dear Ruth Theresa question. That's right, today I'm answering a Dear Ruth Theresa question, and it's kind of funny because I was really actually working on getting this information ready for a class of mine that starts in a few days. So I was kind of like, wow, this is really cool that I got this question emailed to me. And then it's like, I've already been kind of working on it a little bit. So I'm going to explain it to you just a little bit, and hopefully you can get a lot out of this. So the question was, Dear Ruth Theresa, I keep hearing information about violet flames. What are they and what do they do? So kind of that's what we're talking about. I will tell you, it's really a spiritual alchemist energy to kind of work with. And it's been around for centuries and centuries and centuries. So it's kind of literally, alchemism is kind of like taking one thing and making it into something else. And so I will tell you, probably the most one that people talk about is like turning something into gold, kind of like Rapunzel or whatever it is, where he puts the, I don't know what he did, troll or something, puts straw in and it turns into like a golden thread or something like that. Kind of the same thing, but alchemy can be like turning one thing, a base something, into something else, something more desirable. And so that's really what it's about. And this has been around since kind of like biblical times. And a lot of times people come up and talk about like how things are transformed. And that's one of the things that's really important to kind of keep in this. Really, it's anything that is mixed up and put into fire or kind of turned in or done with a flame, turning it into something else. And this can be anything that you choose. Now, in the Bible, what they were talking about is kind of like the burning bush in Moses. And Moses was up on the mountain and he saw the burning bush. But you say, Ruth, but the bush wasn't on fire. He wasn't on fire. I understand. But it's kind of an interesting thing because kind of God appeared to him in the burning bush and kind of like talked to him, but nothing really burned. Actually, what was changing or burning was Moses's ideas, and kind of like the bush wasn't consumed, he wasn't consumed, but the fire doesn't always is not always like a true flame. Sometimes it's like a spiritual flame, and it's no ordinary fire. It's kind of like the alchemy of changing something spiritual that's blocking you into something to transform yourself, or self-transformation in some way. And that's kind of what they're really talking about, is the violet flame, that energy that you put into this. A violet flame is really symbolic of kind of the transformation in spiritual alchemy. And so it's kind of really like putting that flame out there and then kind of transforming it to something else. And a lot of times there's a lot of things that we may choose to kind of transform. Sometimes like people are like, I always have negative thoughts and I keep trying to turning them to positive thoughts, but it doesn't always work. And I can understand that, because if you have, I don't want to say like a bad mindset, but some people just always see the negative side of life, and that's not necessarily horrible. It's just how they've grown up or how they are on the inside. That's who they are. They always kind of go to the negative side first and then usually flip it to the positive. But if you're trying to catch all of those negative words and flip them into something positive, it can get really old and really overwhelming at times too. So kind of one of the things that you can do is kind of like a symbolic violet flame to kind of transform a lot of things at the same time. Kind of one of the things I usually use this for is when something isn't going my way, or kind of like I want to change the energy of it, I will meditate, put that energy into a violet flame in my meditation, and spiritually transform something into something that's good for me. So kind of like something not so great into something that's really like, yay, this is a great one. Fire can be really is a source of heat and light and protection. But it's more than that. It can really transform a lot of things. And I think of like danger. Fire can also have a danger element to it, but it doesn't always have to. A lot of times people think of fire as something bad, like it burned this, burned house, it burned the wood or whatever it is, like it transformed that wood into like ashes, into dust. But really that wood is still there. It's just transformed into something else. And a lot of times it's something else that you can use in another way. So if you were to burn a log and burn that up, the ash that you get from that, you could turn that in. If you heated it up enough, you could actually molten that ash and turn it into glass. So it's kind of like something we didn't really want into something that's more desirable. So that's kind of like the crazy cool part about it, is being able to transform issues or problems or things that don't work for you into something that will work for you. So it's kind of like, yay! I will say fire is one of the 4 basic elements of everything: fire, wind, water, and air. Fire, wind, earth, that's the other one, is kind of like a cool one, but it's kind of can be really interesting as things are brought together in alchemy, of kind of like things that don't necessarily fit together, like putting that image into your meditation and transforming it into something that does support you or does work through things. And that's kind of what you can do in a deep meditation of kind of like, I have this situation coming up, or I have this coming at me. How do I transform it into something that will work for me or will work for what I'm doing? I think that's kind of cool myself. Let's see. One of the things that is really cool is kind of just like how to call in the violet flame and how to do that in a meditation. And I will do a violet flame meditation. I will do it for my advanced students that I'll be doing the class in, but I will do one for everybody else as well, because I think it can really be a very special healing time of bringing in some amazing healing energy into our journey, and kind of like bring it into something that's going to work better for us. It can bring in healing. It can remove blockages. It can kind of release old ideas or old things and kind of bring that into new ideas and new energy. I want to say one of the things that I have found with using the violet flame meditation is how many other things come about with it. And it's one of those kind of, if you really think about it, a violet flame, if you look at the base of it, is really a combination of a blue flame and a red flame. So where do we have a blue energy and a red energy in our body? Well, our blue energy is our throat chakra, and the red energy comes from our root chakra, which is kind of like our security and our welfare and how we work through things in life. And so when we kind of blend those 2 fires together, we are literally making a violet flame. So if we kind of put our communication with our basics, our security and our motivation and our grounding of what we want in our life, we can really move this forward very quickly. So that's kind of a fun thing. That both colors together can stimulate kind of openness to new ideas, openness to like divine wisdom, kind of opening up like our self-preservation and kind of taking care of ourselves, our self-care. And it can also kind of move things along a little bit faster in the healing process as we kind of work through things. I will tell you, you have to kind of understand why you have that issue, or what is the base problem. Why do you have that hurt knee or hurt shoulder or whatever it is, kind of like the energy behind that, so you can put that into the violet flame and move that around and kind of move that out as well. We will be, like I said, I'll be doing a violet flame meditation, so keep your eyes open for that. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.